A good Saturday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sid's Blue Sky Farm. Wish I'd have brought you in just a couple minutes earlier. I had a reasonably large pecan tree limb fall right in the middle of my setup for the camera, but just a little too late. We got a busy morning. We've got some plants to dig up. We're going to try to relocate those. Hopeful, very, very hopeful to get rain tomorrow. So try to get those plants out of the ground, relocated, and moved from there. Just doing a little inventory on the side-by-side. Rake, shovel, hatchet, pliers, gloves, multiple buckets, and of course a trusty chair just in case we need to take a little break this morning, which is probably going to happen. We're really looking forward to about 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning. Make a quick trip up to the local volunteer fire department. That's West Chambers Volunteer Fire Department. Pick up some barbecue plates, trying to always support those guys because they do wonderful work around here. I don't know where we'd be without the volunteer fire department. I guess we'd just be on our own. So we'll go up and take care of that business in a little while and come back and do some more miscellaneous things. I'm going to walk you over and show you a little bit of an update on our transplanting or new plant starting project. And it begins right there. I think you can see that. I've got some backup plants just cut off, trim, put in water, see if they'll sprout a little bit of root growth. Then we'll take you over and let you see what's going on. We have a little bit of progress in the plants here. Got actually a little bit of a bloom on one far end. Now I don't know if that has anything to do with being replanted or if it was just that close to coming out. But we do have a lot of green remaining in the plants that we've broken off and stuck over here. I think that green new plant is a pumpkin. Just not sure. I'm not even sure when I planted it. And you see right there in the center that green leaf kind of turned back to us. That's also a new addition. I found that little hydrangea piece growing. Just dug it up and stuck it in the bed, in that bucket. See if we can get it started. But anyway, all in all, everything's hanging in there. There you see the limb. It was already dead, but it finally came down with a little bit of a shower of pecans this morning. So let's go get started on our trimming and miscellaneous projects, and we'll bring you guys back a little bit later on. Get as many of these roots out as we can. These little crepe myrtle are pretty tough though. Get it in that bucket, let it soak, make sure it doesn't dehydrate. Well, we just leave them. They'll just produce another crepe myrtle for us later on. Maybe in the spring. Well, except for the hard dirt, that one was pretty easy. I'm going to go step over here and get some of these variegated plants too. Yeah, these are coming up much better. All right, we're going to transplant some of these, fill in some beds. It's like my wife's putting a roof on the house over there. I don't know what she's banging away at. But I think I'll just stay out of that part of it. This one right back in the ground. Now let's shoot a little water on them. Okay, glad that little project is taken care of. One thing I will mention though, and if you're from the South like I am, grew up here, eventually moved back, You'll notice this time of year when you get your hands down in the ground digging or transferring plants, you got to watch out for fire ant beds because they are everywhere. We've got, turn the camera around, we've got a fairly good bucket full of plants to work on here. Got the variegated pieces in there and the other crepe myrtle. So got one more crepe myrtle to dig up, and then we're going to stick these in a bed out front. So we'll come back after we get that done. I was over there filling the yellow bucket to put the white crepe myrtles in. You know, it's just a 5-gallon bucket, and I kept running water and thinking, what is going on? This is taking a long time. Didn't happen to notice I had bored like 6 holes in the bottom of it to use it as a garden bucket, so didn't fill up very easily. Just been that kind of start to the day, but it will definitely get better. All right, we'll get this low first plant here in the bed. Try to get these with some good roots on them so they start. Gotta be careful. Sometimes there's a lot of leaf and it comes out like that one with very little root stock, but I think this will be okay. The other thing is these plants just spread and they proliferate very, very well. Let's make sure we get one really good one in here. If you get one plant out of the group, it will grow like crazy, and you can come back in the spring when they put back out and find some other pieces you can start off of those if everything doesn't come up. Boy, I did a pretty poor job of raking this bed out, but anyway, it is what it is. Got a few plants left. We'll take these down, stick them in the other bed. Give these guys just a little quick drink so it's not too totally shocking to be dug up and relocated. Pat that down so it stays nice and damp for a little while. We're supposed to be getting rain tomorrow, and boy, I just don't know what we'll do if we don't get it. We'll just complain about it. Give you a quick view of the transplanting so far this morning. I'll back up a little bit so you get a better perspective. That's just the front layer. You'll get more behind there. I think the zinnias will go in the second row, and then we'll put roses. And no, we're not going to stack those roses right on top of each other so they're a mess. They don't grow well and you got to transplant them. We'll space those out. Maybe 4, maybe 3 in the back long row. Let's take a look at the other end. One thing you'll see right away down here is my measuring and sizing abilities aren't very good. That bed is significantly shorter, not as wide as the other front bed. So look, it is what it is. It'll all be fine. Over the course of time, if it needs to be widened, I'll just take a shovel, dig it up. I'm going to show you one other thing over here. The last placement here in our front bed, we added a couple on either end just to fill in that void. I was able to break an arm with some roots off of this butterfly bush. The one we had tried to just bare transplant didn't take well and died. So this one's got some roots. We'll put some water on it, see how it works out. Maybe it'll go fine. So just across the road here at the mailbox, looks like some daylilies have managed to grow up. Well, they're going to move and go into a bed in the backyard because they're free. Don't know why they're there, don't know how they got there. But the other thing we don't know is what color they are. More than likely, there's just a common roadside orange. We're going to claim those. Looks like I've got to do some work on my mailbox. Doesn't seem quite level. Oh well, way down the road project. I am suddenly reminded of why I don't enjoy planting here. I think I have replanted daylilies in this bed multiple times. I've got a chop through the weed mat, which is not a lot of fun with a dull shovel. Then you got to hack through what is a solid root mass. And I think this whole area is just one big root ball. And maybe that's why we have had such trouble getting anything to grow in this bed. But I'm stubborn. I just keep putting more in here, hoping something will take. You know, a few of them have come up. Let's see if we can get this other one in the ground without breaking the shovel or losing my patience. Right about there. That didn't sound good. That is some tough weed mat right there. It don't need much of a hole. Like digging in a wood pile. And that's it. If it works, we are way ahead of the game. If it doesn't, free plants, just a little labor. Let's hope for the best. We'll shoot a little water on it and move on to something else. Well, hello again, everyone. Obviously, it's the next day. In my absolute expert YouTube video making, didn't realize my mic was off yesterday when I did this fabulous job of planning everything. It was probably the best content we've ever put up, but it's lost. So let me just recap a couple things. We've dug up these crape myrtles, and I want to just give you a quick look at it. This is what we typically get when we start digging crape myrtles up around here. You see a lot of these fine roots and this long stem off the main root, and then plant emerges. If you're not careful and you try trimming this, these will just die because there's not enough of the fine roots just to pick up water and nutrients, I guess, to keep the plant alive. Same is true here. You can see how big this piece is. I'll probably trim some of these major branches off because it's just too much to try to feed and take care of with this very small number of feeders on there. Plant like this one, much more likely to survive. I might trim a little bit off of it, but you can see that heavy root ball there at the bottom. The other thing I'll let you know is it did rain last night, and boy, it's really welcome. We only got about a ½ inch, but it was a kind of a long, sustained ½ inch rain, and we really need it. Everything is just so dry out here. We need another 3 or 4 inches to get ourselves in good shape again. But I'm hoping that now that fall's starting to set in, we'll see that more consistent rainfall around the farm, and it'll help us do everything. It'll help the ground that we've broken up. It'll help all the plants, and it certainly should help the pecan crop this year. At least get them loosened up and ready to fall on the ground, I believe. If you remember, we dug up a bunch of daylilies that are out by the mailbox, and we brought them back in here. I want to walk you through the planting that I did with those items here by our house. And believe it or not, I'm getting a few raindrops right now, and that's just fantastic. The daylilies, we just put them in this row. It's behind the garage, actually the carport on our garage. Fantastic construction, as you can see there. But anyway, I just set those out, and you can see already how perked up they are just by having that really good steady rain for, I would say, a couple hours. I mean, it rained at least 2 hours this morning in not a drizzle, but a real soft rain. Maybe that will keep the water from running off so much of this dry ground, and maybe have some sort of effect. So we'll do this. We'll move back over and take a quick look at the last subject of the day. I want to give you a quick rundown on that. Something to do with the pool. So let's stop right here and move over there and I'll show you what we've done. Okay everyone, just the last glimpse of this project-laden weekend. We got the pool covered. And as you can see, there's a big puddle of water right in the center. It's not some fancy permeable pool cover. We just buy a tarp every couple of years and throw it on there and weight it down with sandbags. It works. Having the pool so low is a little bit of a challenge, but I think this will be okay. It hasn't pulled loose. It hasn't pulled the bags closer to the pool, so I think it's all going to be just fine. One last thing. Here's what we're starting to see on the ground. Hopefully you can see that. There's a pecan opening up. Instead of just being in the green shell, that's what we want to see. We want to see these pecans start opening up. In another 2 or 3 weeks, we hope to start picking them up. I'd like to pick up another 150 pounds like we did a couple years ago, but we'll see how that works out. Good to see this little pecan out here today. So I think that's going to wrap us up. It did take 2 days to get one video put together, but that's okay because we just had a little bit of a technical difficulty yesterday. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, hit that like button. If you want to be notified of our video content, hit that subscribe button. We'd certainly appreciate it. Have a great week. Take care. We'll see you soon. All right. Pecan looks awfully healthy. That's got a really good flavor to it. Really well developed. Oh yeah. That's a real deal right there. Hope we get about 1 million more of those.